Tonight, not one but two more criminals released from prison by mistake. The search is on after two men were separately let out of Wandsworth prison just days after the Epping fiasco. Also ahead.
The countdown to COP30 is on.
Too many mayor miles? Sir Sadiq is criticised for his trip to a conference on the environment.
It smells absolutely delightful. Let's go.
Cameras down for influencers at Borough Market, but why the stall holders want them back. Honouring the fallen at the UK's biggest poppy installation. And
remember, the 5th of November, it's bonfire night. Oh, sorry. And the display has just begun. We'll give you a little flutter of this very special one very soon.
Good evening. When the Epping sex offender Hadush Gabatu was mistakenly released from prison less than 2 weeks ago, the Justice Secretary promised to strengthen checks. Exactly what they're checking is not clear because tonight there are two criminals who've separately gone on the run from Wandsworth prison. Let's go straight to our reporter Daisy Bussell, who's there. Daisy, first this afternoon it was one, now it's two. What's going on?
That's right, Yasmin. So there have been two developments in the last few hours, and that is two men separately released in error from Wandsworth prison just behind me. Now, I'll come to the second man in just a moment, but first, let me tell you about the Algerian national Brahim Kaddour Sharif. The 24-year-old is a registered sex offender, and he was accidentally freed 1 week ago. But the Metropolitan Police say they were only informed about it yesterday afternoon.
The latest embarrassment for Wandsworth prison and an ongoing headache for the government. The error follows a similar blunder by prison officials when migrant Hadush Gabatu, who sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl in Epping, was wrongly released from Chelmsford prison and left to roam free around Essex and London before being captured and later deported. Just yesterday, the father of Kabatu's victim told ITV News how those days of freedom affected his daughter's recovery.
She was getting better until last weekend.
In the days following Kabatu's release, Justice Secretary David Lammy announced an independent inquiry into what went wrong. Today in the Commons, he was under pressure over whether any more asylum seekers had been wrongly released since.
I put in place the toughest checks we've ever had. I have answered the question.
The Deputy Prime Minister refused to confirm 4 times, despite having found out about the error at Wandsworth overnight. He says it would have been irresponsible to talk about it while details were still emerging.
David Lammy has genuinely, he has inherited a problem, and they have to tackle the capacity crisis urgently. Introducing additional checks is not the solution. It only puts more pressure on existing staff and management.
As for Wandsworth, this incident once again puts them under the spotlight for the wrong reasons. There was the escape of the spy Daniel Khalif in 2023, the prison guard filmed being intimate with an inmate in June last year, and a damning inspection report in 2024 revealing its catastrophic conditions. Tonight, Wandsworth Prison has one less inmate in its cells, and the public may have even less confidence in our justice system.
Well, Sharif is known to have links to Tower Hamlets and to spend time in the Westminster area. But now let's move on to that second man in question. He is 35-year-old William Smith, known as Billy, and Surrey police are leading the search for him after he was mistakenly let go on Monday. So as we're on air tonight, Yasmin, that is two men who were wrongfully released from Wandsworth prison.
OK, Daisy, for now, thank you. OK, let's move on to some other news tonight. And the mayor is being criticised once again for his international travel. The twist this time is he's jetted off to a conference about the environment. Sir Sadiq Khan is in Brazil at a meeting with other mayors about climate change. The problem is getting there takes quite a few thousand air miles in itself. His opponents say no matter the subject, he should be here dealing with London's problems. Here's our political correspondent, Simon Harris.
The countdown to COP30 is on.
Sadiq Khan is sharing his trip to Rio on social media. He's in Brazil for a climate change conference organised by C40 Cities, the global alliance of mayors which he co-chairs.
It's a great honour to join you all in this magical city that is so rich in culture, creativity and beauty, and yes, the second greatest city in the world.
Sadiq Khan's overseas visits this year have taken him to Poland for the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. In March, he was in the south of France for a property convention. In June, he was in Paris for another mayor's meeting. Then Africa in July for a trade mission to Ghana, Nigeria and South Africa.
This is the 5th time this year, 12,000 miles there and back, so that he can tell us all how green we need to be.
Isn't it right the mayor should represent London on the international stage?
Isn't it right that the mayor should represent us? He should be actually dealing with the government at the moment to get as much money as he can for London, which he is not doing. That's his job.
Now, I know there's a legitimate criticism often of the amount of air miles that the mayor clocks up, but actually, if I'm being honest, I think this is one good example to get on a plane.
Sadiq Khan is travelling with what City Hall says is a small number of key senior staff. The trip's being paid for by Bloomberg Philanthropies, a company run by a former mayor of New York. In a statement defending the trip, Sadiq Khan's spokesperson said reaching London's climate goals is one of the mayor's top priorities. City Hall also pointed out Boris Johnson made twice as many overseas trips when he was mayor.
The mayor rightly is the mayor of London, which is a global city, and the mayor tackles global issues with partners. Only this year did the mayor bring partners from all around the world, from Bogota to Freetown to London this April to talk about violence against women and girls.
The mayor is expected to round off his trip to Rio at Prince William's Earthshot Awards ceremony. Simon Harris, ITV News, City Hall.
A woman who was allegedly sexually abused by David Carrick when she was a child has told a court that when she heard he'd later become a Met Police officer, she said, "God help anyone with him with a warrant card." David Carrick is accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting the girl when she was aged between 12 and 14 and he was still a teenager. He denies the charges against him. Police are investigating after Tottenham Hotspur footballer Destiny Udogie was allegedly threatened with a gun. The incident happened in Cockfosters in September. A 31-year-old was arrested on suspicion of possession of firearms with intent and blackmail. He's since been bailed. Reform UK's only black local chairman has told us he left the party over its tone and language on immigration. Neville Watson was leader of the party's Enfield branch, where he helped attract new members outside of its traditional white base, Londoners of Nigerian, Turkish and Sikh backgrounds. But 2 weeks ago, he resigned his position. In his first broadcast interview, he's been speaking to our reporter, Kafo Patter.
Meet Neville Watson, a fairly unknown figure in London politics, but this year he made history, becoming Reform's first and only black chair of a local constituency. And then he quit.
For me, Reform seemed like the best option. It gave me a platform that I was looking for within politics where I could actually profess my faith.
Why aren't you there now?
The tipping point, I think, was I felt a strong calling, and I can say it was a calling.
You left Reform because of the rhetoric, the things you were hearing that you did not like. Some people will listen to that and say, well, the writing was on the wall.
I believe the tone, the rhetoric, the language that was spoken around immigration was one that was causing more division.
Was it racist?
I don't want to use the term racist. I don't think it was meant to be racist, no.
But it came across that way.
Well, I think it could be conceived as racist, and perceptions become people's realities. I don't believe it was meant to be, because Nigel Farage in no way is racist at all. In no way is he racist. And I never came across anyone who was overtly racist within Reform.
Subvertly racist?
I don't think that anyone. No, I've never come across any form of racism at all. Not even no covert in any other way. But I would just say that there are people within Reform who have a view that is not helpful for community relations.
You're credited with bringing Nigerians, Sikhs, Turkish people to reform. If you couldn't stomach it, how can they?
I'm not going to say to you, walk away. No, of course not. You know, it's got to feel right. It's got to feel right. But I say, as someone, as a follower of Jesus Christ, look at the rhetoric, look at the tone, feel the tone of the messaging that's coming across. We cannot just blame all our ills on immigration.
Neville Watson, the former reformer, now of the Christian People Alliance Party. Yasmin, it was a very interesting conversation. I also asked him if he thought a Reform candidate could ever be London mayor. He said anything is possible. Reform, in response, said immigration is the #1 concern in the country, according to YouGov. Reform UK will never shy away from discussing key voter issues.
Interesting stuff. Kath, thank you. There's lots more to come on the programme, but I think we're just going to check in on Sally, who's at this fireworks display in Bloomsbury. Sally, we're going to come to you properly later on, but that display is in full flight. We just couldn't resist coming to you. Looks great.
Well, you're right to do so. We are right in the middle of an absolute corker. I hope your pets are OK with this. I'll give you a quick little bit of it. There we go. You didn't even have to get out of your armchair. And in a minute, we'll come back and I will tell you why this particular beautiful fireworks display is so special. Have the weather too. See you soon.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Sally. First, though, it's the place to go for a £6 sausage roll, followed by a £9 pudding. But as well as the best of British produce, Borough Market offers the perfect snaps for social media. No wonder it's become so popular with visitors from around the world, which might also explain some of those prices. But now the so-called content creators who've helped pack out Borough Market are feeling less than welcome among the crowds. Armed with his own camera, Rags Martell went to find out why.
Borough Market kindly responded to our request, and here we are, legit.
It's where food meets fame. Bite Twice are the taste-testing duo for the scrolling generation and have more than 200,000 followers on Instagram.
That Stilton flavouring erupts like a volcanic force.
But sometimes food influencing isn't to everyone's taste.
I'm not allowed to do videos. Sorry, social media. So we're getting kicked out. Are we getting kicked out of Borough Market?
They were stopped by Borough Market security for filming.
So we didn't know the rules. Started to get shuffled out by the security. Sort of made it clear that we weren't allowed to film.
Were you surprised by that? A little bit shocked, I guess, taken aback at the fact that it had come over. And you can kind of see it in the review. It kind of comes to a bit of an abrupt end.
Borough Market has been selling food here for more than 1,000 years. But it now feeds a different kind of hunger for likes, views and viral fame. But for a place that relies so heavily on social media promotion, banning filming feels like biting the hand that feeds it.
I mean, I can't imagine the £8.50 chocolate-covered strawberries would be selling half as much if creators weren't gassing it up as much as they do.
The kicking out incident happened back in May, and today Borough Market were much more welcoming.
Have you got any of your famous Stilton sausage rolls today?
Giving filming permits to Paul and Jerry, as well as ITV News.
Borough Market told us that they value food reviewers and the role they play in promoting this place, but their #1 priority is safety, and they don't allow filming during busy periods.
For us, the reviewers and also the tourists are overwhelmingly positive. We get over 20 posts a day of people saying how much they love a ginger pig sausage roll, and it makes us feel warm and fuzzy, but it also really helps our marketing. So as a relatively small business, yeah, we think it's great.
Before the filming interruption, it wasn't shaping up to be Humble Crumble's best review, but its founder says it owes its success to social media.
Like 1 month prior, I was thinking, I need to shut this business down. I'm going to try and do one last thing, one more month, and then, at the end of that month, we went viral. And literally now we employ over 90 people. We sell thousands of crumbles a day. And it's like amazing that I get to do like what I love, which is give people crumble, which I hope they like. And some people won't like it, but lots of people do.
The signature caramelisation.
For Bite Twice, it was back to filming.
Oh, the smell.
And tasting, this time with permission.
It smells absolutely delightful.
As content seems to be the secret recipe for success
See
here.
what I'm saying? My guy knows.
Rex Martel, ITV News, Borough Market.
Every time.
Now, my guest tonight is one of the best fast bowlers England has ever had. Take a look at this.
The 7th wicket stand now worth 42. So Alistair Cook turns back to Stephen Finn. A pull from Johnson, and he's going to be out. Caught a backward point, a top edge. Finn, the golden arm, has done it again, and he's got 5 wickets.
Well, that was Stephen Finn having an absolute triumph in the 2015 Ashes series, having already been a successful player in clubs in Hampstead, Hertfordshire and Middlesex. But the years before had been tumultuous. He was infamously sent home from the Ashes in Australia in 2014 when his game and his confidence completely fell apart. Well, now he's written a revealing and emotional autobiography all about those times, and I'm very pleased to say that he's here now. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming in. This book is really candid, isn't it? Was it hard to write it?
It was kind of hard to evoke memories of the past, and during both good and bad times, I kept diaries, which was a nice reference point to go back to evoke those memories as I was writing the book. But yeah, it was emotional to recount the bad times and to reconnect with them, but then also really euphoric to connect to those good times as well. And I hope that I've created a story throughout the book that tells them.
Was it quite, when you were going through those diaries, did you realise how raw some of those emotions possibly still are? Because it had been a kind of decade, hadn't it? But did you think, oh God, actually it's all still there?
Yeah, the chap who goes through the book with me saw me cry a few times, which, you know, and I think it kind of showed that it means everything. And on the cusp of a Ashes series down in Australia, it's a reminder that it means so much to the people watching, but also the people playing, to do well in series like that.
Yeah. Everyone has bad moments at work, don't they? But for you, it's all in the public eye. So that's really tough, isn't it? People will be so interested to know, how did you muster the strength to come back from 2014 and then have a wonderful 2015? How did you do that?
Stubbornness, I think, is one of the traits that I possess that allowed me to come through that. But also support networks around you, and friends and family and coaches, allowing you to find the best version of yourself again and believe that you can still do it, because at that stage I was still a young man, 25 years old. So yeah, I can look back upon those moments now and seeing videos like this. They're a lovely nod towards the good times in my career. And yeah, I think if I could relive one moment of my life again, it would be that ball hanging in the air as it was floating towards Alistair Cook as he took that catch.
Well, luckily it's on film, isn't it? So you can keep reliving it. What did you learn from that time that perhaps those of us who aren't cricketers could maybe learn from you and take into other situations?
Well, that's kind of the motivation for writing the book, was because I think it's so easy as a cricketer, and especially a young sports person, to ride the highs and the lows too much. And when you're doing amazing, you feel like you're the best in the world. But then when you're doing horribly, you feel like you're the worst player in the world and no one likes you. And that spills over into your general life, as it did for me. So I suppose the lesson that comes out of it is that remaining level is important, and not catastrophizing when things go badly is important. And finding mechanisms to help you do that is something that I found as I experienced those times throughout my career, and I reflect upon that in the book.
Well, brilliant lessons for life. It's a great book. I'm midway through reading it, so congratulations on that. And thank you so much for coming in to speak to us, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
Now, when children are in hospital, they miss out on so much, but not tonight. With a warning of some flashing lights now, Sally is at this fireworks display with an extra special audience. Hi again, Sal.
Hello there. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad we showed you earlier, because it's literally just finished. People are streaming out, but we got some great pictures of the fireworks. So if the pets are scared, turn it down a touch. Let's take a little look at the display earlier. So we're in central London and they've got about 4,000 people, they reckon, coming here tonight. Great Ormond Street is just down there. They had music. I just want to show you this other little clip from St George the Martyr School just over there. What did they sing but Katy Perry's Fireworks? Take a listen to this. I was dancing away to that, as you can imagine, beautifully. Anyway, I said earlier that this was really special, this display, because for the first time they have streamed it live into Great Ormond Street, which is just a beat over there. But they've also had some of the children coming out of Great Ormond Street who were able to come and see it. And earlier I spoke to the mum of Ruben, who's been in Great Ormond Street for many years, and how thrilled they were to see the fireworks.
It's so special and you feel really part of something, especially when you spend so long not being able to access things like this. So for them to make it this accessible is amazing. It really is amazing.
Now I want to introduce you to someone very special. Bella is a patient at Great Ormond Street. She's got the fireworks on her face. Bella, they're looking beautiful. What did you think of the fireworks?
I really liked them from how bright they are.
They were so bright and so loud as well, weren't they? How long have you been at Great Ormond Street for, sweetie?
For most of my life.
Have you really? Wow. And what, you told me earlier that you had a very special wish. What's your wish?
To go home and see Ed Sheeran.
To go home. Is that right? Well, I hope your wish comes true. She's got another wish as well. What's your other wish?
To see Ed Sheeran.
To see Ed Sheeran, who is obviously watching. Come on, Ed. Bella, it's lovely to meet you. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm going to talk about the weather now. Thank you so much. Here we go. And there's a big moon out tonight, if you can see it through the cloud.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello again, a very good evening to you. Well as fireworks at the moment, we're into fungi, or is it a fungi season as well. I'll leave the fungi jokes for another time. But the weather itself, mild and dry tonight. You may have noticed that. As we go into tomorrow, a little bit cloudier. There are some isolated showers around. For the weekend, you're going to notice it's gradually getting cooler. Back down to around average, really. So let's take a quick look at the pressure chart. You can see there are some fronts around. This one on Friday is breaking up as it approaches, but there might be a bit of dampness on Friday. But for the weekend, it's looking quite decent, certainly in the daytime at the moment. But as I said, it is getting a little bit fresher. So the detail for the rest of tonight, well, we should stay dry. There might be the odd splash around, but the main talking point is that it's really mild. I'm only in a thin coat and t-shirt and it's not too chilly. So we're staying up in double figures overnight, but quite a bit of clouds, so you might not be able to see the super moon that's out tonight. Into tomorrow, another mild start to the day. Now quite a bit of cloud around and there are some hit and miss showers, so you might manage to avoid them, but again, one could catch you up. Plenty of dry weather too, and as we go through the day, gradually later on, that cloud trying to break up. Highs of 16, 17 degrees, so maybe just a smidge down on today, but still well above average and slightly lighter winds, so feeling pleasant indeed outside. Into the evening, that cloud tries to break up a bit more, the winds die down, and that's a bit of a recipe for some mist and fog in some areas, particularly perhaps further west, so potentially a bit of a murkier start on Friday morning. Into Friday, I mentioned there might be a bit of rain maybe later on. Keep an eye on the forecast for that. And into the weekend, the weather looks up, the temperatures look down a little. That's it from me and all the team here. Have a super bonfire night and a super evening. See you later on. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
And finally, on the world's largest pier, a trail of swaying poppies. Thousands of knitted and crocheted poppies are being installed along the length of Southend Pier for this year's appeal, making it the UK's largest remembrance installation. Russell Hookey has been to have a look.
Against a background of grey skies reflected in the Thames estuary this morning, Southend's pier has been turned a vibrant poppy red. Exceeding all expectations, there are now almost 3 miles of these handcrafted creations stretching the entire length out from the shore and back again.
been celebrating poppies on the pier, an installation over 110,000 crocheted and hand-knitted poppies, and behind us we have a sculpture which contains 2,106 of those hand-knitted, hand-crocheted poppies representing each of the lives, local lives lost in World Wars I and II.
We've remembered the fallen with poppies since the 1920s. Yet this huge knitted and crocheted display on Britain's longest pleasure pier is believed to be a first.
It's a surprise as to what it has turned into. I know when I first talked to people who were contributing poppies to this, they thought they would only get one side of the walkway up to here decorated, but they've got the whole pier covered in poppies, and I think it's amazing what they've done.
And while Southend Pier has entertained generations during peacetime, it's also played a key role during conflict.
The pier was obviously used by the Navy during the World War II. It was HMS Lee, and the surrounding beaches were HMS Westcliff. It had a role in Operation Dynamo. Some of the ships went over to Dunkirk, obviously Southend Pier, so it seemed really poignant.
Well, there are more than 110,000 poppies along the pier. It's been an incredible effort to get them all installed on time. And among those installing them have been Janice, Linda and Susan, who are over here. Ladies, I said more than 110,000. Exactly how many are there?
110,471.
Now, you must have been working very hard.
We have.
We haven't
very hard. We haven't stopped. Literally haven't stopped. No.
What have been the challenges?
The wind. Trying to get all up here on the end of the pier, it's so windy that it's trying to hold on. So that, yeah, the weather has been our biggest burden.
Well, you've done an incredible job. Well done. It looks absolutely
It's
magnificent.
amazing, yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What started as a community yarn bomb appeal rapidly gained support from around the world, ensuring a coastal creation which can be visited until November the 16th. Russell Hookey, ITV News in Southend-on-Sea.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? That's it from us. The evening news is next with Gamal, but for now, from all of us, do enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.